Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review and swatches of the Too Faced White Chocolate Chip eyeshadow palette that they just come out with. This was actually a Sephora VIB Rouge exclusive. From what I've been reading online though, this will be available again in the spring, but as of right now it is sold out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys swatches and everything, but I'm just going to kind of talk to you guys a little bit about the packaging, and then I'll do my swatches and talk to you guys about how they work on the eyes. So when I first seen this and seen like teases of this, I was under the impression that it was going to be a little bit bigger than what I got. This is honestly probably the size of a debit card, maybe a little bit bigger. This is my cell phone, and this is just a comparison for you guys size wise. So it is quite small. I thought that it was going to be the size of these eyeshadow palettes by Too Faced. They've got like totally cute, the neutral eyes like this, but as you guys are going to see, they are quite a bit smaller than this as well. So, but this is more what I was thinking size wise it was going to be. This palette though is only $26, and these are $36. As far as the packaging, these are like metal kind of tin packagings, just like the original chocolate bar palette is, I believe. This is metal, and this is not. This is a plastic packaging, which I was kind of bummed out about because that is one of the things that I like about the original, and this you just clamp closed. You do get a really nice size mirror in here, which I think is nice, but honestly, you know, it's quite small. Like I've got, you know, other things I'd reach for if I need a mirror. They don't have the names of the eyeshadows inside here. They've actually got them just on the back right here, which is a little bit different than the original one, because the original one, they used to give you a piece of plastic. As you guys can see, I don't have the new one that's got the names on it, which, like I said, is fine with me. I'm glad they put the names on the back and didn't give you a sheet. But now the Too Faced ones do have the names inside them, so which is really nice. But they do have the names on here for you, which, like I said, I do appreciate. Now I'm going to talk about, like I said, the palette kind of as a whole. I don't feel like these shades are very like versatile. Like I don't think that these shades are going to work for everyone's skin tone, because as you're going to see, they are super light. Some of the shades don't really show up on me at all, which I'll talk about again in the swatches. So this again isn't a palette that I reach for every day, just as you can tell looking at it. I wish that they would have at least put another brown in here that was a little bit deeper before I go in with that black, because I do like to have a brown that I can kind of put in the crease, you know, before you put the black down, so the black blends really smooth. At least that's just like how I like to do it. So I am going to go ahead and swatch each row for you guys individually. I'll swatch 3 rows, and then I'll swatch the entire palette. But yeah, I'm going to go through the names go over the names with it and like the color, and you guys will see, like while I'm talking, you'll see it over the screen. But starting here on the top row, you do get the shade Glaze, which is a white with a pinky undertone. Next, you get the shade Ambrosia, which is just like a mid-tone brown. Then you get the shade Extica, or some, I have no idea how you pronounce that, but this is like a bronzy peach shade. It's really unique. Moving down the second row, you do get this white with shimmer in it, and this is in the shade Pearl Candy. Next shade is Raspberry Rose, which is a pink with gold in it. Then you get the shade Indulge, which is a taupey gray with quite a bit of glitter in it as well. And then you get the shade Guilt Free, which is just kind of like a purple tone gray. Moving down the last row, you get the shade Cake Batter, which is more of a warm toned brown. Then you get the shade Cookie Dough, which is more of a neutral brown with a little bit of gold in it. And then you get the shade Sugared Raisin, which is a purple. It has quite a bit of glitter in it as well. And then you do get Black Sugar, which is a black with purple and silver glitter in it. So as the palette overall, you do get a total of 4 matte shades, and then the rest of them are shimmer. This shade right here, which is Cookie Dough, is more of like a satin, but the rest of these have quite a bit of shimmer in them, and are more of, like I said, shades that I would put all over the lid. So I just want to run through the palette really quick and talk to you guys about what shades I've used, because when I got this, I did do 2 different eye looks on each eye, and then I did the eye look that I'm wearing right now. This shade right here is really too light for me. It barely shows up even when I swatch it. I do have to do a couple of swatches. I do use this to set my eyeshadow primer, my Urban Decay one. This I did use in the crease, but I couldn't get it to show up on my skin tone, to be honest. I kept trying to build it up and build it up. This shade right here is really unique and pretty. I do like it. This is probably my favorite in here because it does have a little bit more of like a creamier formula. This shade right here I do have in my inner corners. It has a ton of fallout. You definitely want to make sure, I feel like if you are going to be using these eyeshadows, to do your eye makeup first. This shade right here is the only shade I didn't use, but it is a really unique, pretty shade. This reminds me of a shade that Clinique has. I can't think of it right off the bat, but it's a pink and it's got gold in it, but there's similar shades like this. This is the shade that I have all over my lid. I had to use a glitter primer, and I also had to spray my brush with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. The water like this, yeah, primer water, and I just squirted my brush to get more pigmentation. This shade right here, honestly, when I tried to blend it out, I feel like it's really hard to get more of like a cool tone kind of purple, because I'm not a huge fan of this. I kind of kept trying to build it up and build it up. And this again is more of something that I would use as a transition shade to come in with other shades, because it is such a light color. This shade right here, I also did put in my crease. It's a little bit more of a warmer shade. This one did show up, but I did kind of have to build it up. This shade right here is a brown. Like I said, it does have some golds in it, but once I put it on my eyes, that gold again just kind of like completely disappeared, and it's more of like a satin. Finally are these two right here. These have a ton of glitter and were super hard to work with. This actually put on the outer corner, and by the time I finally buffed it out, because it was a little bit patchy, the glitter had completely like fallen down here. So this I can use on my outer corner, but not a huge fan. I did try to use the black all over as like a smoky eye, and I don't like that, just because when I kept trying to pack it on, it just wasn't as intense and as black as I wanted it to be. Honestly, when I swatched these, I was kind of skeptical about them because I didn't swatch the best, which I know that just because something might swatch beautifully doesn't mean it's going to work great. Just because something swatches crap doesn't mean it's going to be crap on the eyes. But like I said, I feel like swatches are not a good, whether it's brush swatches or finger swatches, I don't think they're a good representation of how they're going to work actually on your eyes, because you're blending your eyeshadow. As far as the formula, the ingredients compared to the original Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, when I looked at them up online, the first two ingredients are either the same or they're just flip-flopped, but then the rest of them are pretty much jumped around. Like the formula is a little bit different. I definitely think if you work with these, you're going to be able to tell that, especially if you're used to the original formula. The mattes in here like aren't terrible, but I find that they're not as I find that they're not as pigmented as I want them to be, and I find that, like I said, when I blend them out, there's just not a lot of pigmentation, but that's also, like I said, because these are super light colors in here. As far as the other shades, I'll show you the ones that are a little worst. This one and then these three right here are the absolute worst for fallout. I just get a ton of glitter. I really have to pick these on. I was super disappointed in this taupey gray because I think it's gorgeous. And something else that I noticed is like the wear time on this palette is not as good as what it is. Like I never have an issue with my eyeshadow starting to crease when I use the original Too Faced palette, but it's like this one, after I put it on within like an hour, I can kind of start to see some creasing, so that kind of worries me because I haven't worn this for like a complete 8-hour day or something like that yet. But yeah, so overall, like I said, I'm not too happy with this palette. I'm not going to return it. I am going to keep it because the packaging is cute. But I think if you're someone that missed out, I don't think that, I think this is a very easy palette to replace or go out and find something better. I kind of wish I had gotten a couple of the Smashbox palettes instead, but I didn't like their formula of the like double exposure and the full exposure palette, so I skipped on those, but now I'm kind of wishing I had got those instead of this because I'm not impressed. I definitely am overall disappointed. I think that there is better eyeshadow palettes out there from the drugstore that are a lot more affordable than this palette. Again, like I said, I don't think it's very friendly for all types of skin tones, which I don't like. I definitely think the formula could use some work, and there's just too many eyeshadows in here that have a lot of glitter and a lot of glitter fallout. Again, when I try to put my blending brush in there, if I do grab any of these shades like this that do have that glitter in it, it immediately falls into the shadow that's underneath it, and I kind of have to dust it off. But I mean, like I said, there is quite a bit of fallout, as you guys want to see. And again, though, if you do want to try this palette out in the spring, just do your eyeshadow before. But I just can't recommend this palette. I think that you're better off getting the original Too Faced one or one of the other ones. They have the Natural Eyes one, which is really nice. So yeah, overall, super disappointed. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this review. If you guys still want to see a makeup tutorial using this, you can. But honestly, it's not a palette that I'm probably going to reach for again or really gravitate towards. It's really hard to create any kind of look with this because I don't feel like there's enough like shades in here for like there's great transition shades, but I don't feel like there's great ones in there to deepen up your crease or to deepen up your outer corner before you come in straight away with this black shade. You know, like I said, just not a super big fan of this palette. So I hope that you guys enjoyed that review. I'm sorry, like I said, I wasn't blown away by the palette, but I just think that you'd be better off sticking with the original one. But yeah, so as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.